Good morning. I just wanted to start out with a couple of more review questions. This one says, Maria practiced her piano recital each day for 3 days. The first day she practiced for 3/4 hour, the second day she practiced for 1.5 hours, and the third day she practiced for 2 1/4 hours. By how much did she increase the time she practiced each day? Now the word increase here might lead you to believe that we're just going to add all three of these fractional numbers together. But if you look at what the question's really asking, it's not saying combined or total or giving us any indication that we need to put all of these numbers together. It says how much did she increase her time. So that means if she went the first day from 3/4 to 1.5, and then from the second day she went from 1.5 to 2 1/4. It is telling us that she's increasing, and we know that increase does mean to add, but it's asking how much did she increase. So we don't know the number that goes there. We know that 1.5 would be the answer to 3/4 plus something equals 1.5. Then it's saying to take this same number and add it to 1.5, and it should give us this answer. So if we break this apart, we actually have a couple of different equations. So 3/4 plus something equals 1.5. And then we have 1.5 plus something equals 2 1/4. Well, you're probably thinking, well, I don't know. Where am I supposed to get these numbers from? Well, you could figure it out because the opposite of addition is what? That's right, subtraction. But you have your answer choices A, B, C, and D over here, so it's giving you a good idea of where to start. So we could just start plugging these numbers in. If I say 3/4 plus 1/4, well, then that gives me 4/4, and that's the same as 1 whole, and 1 whole is not 1.5. So we know right away that A is not our correct answer choice. So then we can plug in 1/2. So 3/4 plus 1/2 equals, and we're looking for it to get to 1.5. But if we're adding with fractions, we need common denominators. So I'm going to rewrite this vertically or up and down. Our common denominator here is what? That's right, 4. When the denominator stays the same, the numerator stays the same. When the denominator changes, the numerator changes. So 2 times what is 4? 2 times 2, so I'll say 1 times 2, and I get 2. I'm going to add up my numerators. I get 5, and the denominator's the same. In and out to flip my improper fraction into a mixed number. 4 goes into 5 one time, subtract, get 1 whole number, numerator and denominator. So that gives me 1 1/4. Okay, folks, is 1 1/4 the same as 1.5? No. So B is no good. Now we're over here to C, 3/4. So now I'll say 3/4 plus 3/4. Do I need to rewrite this vertically? No, because I already have common denominators. So I can just bring over my denominator and add my numerators, and 3 plus 3 is 6. Oops, we have an improper fraction, so we in and out to convert or flip this into a mixed number. 6 goes in, 4 out. 4 goes into 6 how many times? 1 time, and 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract and get 2. Whole number, numerator, denominator. So 1 and 2/4. Well, that's not 1.5, but wait just a second. 2/4 can be simplified by 2, or I know that 2 is half of 4, so I can jump right to my simplified answer of 1.5, and whoop, whoop, that is what I'm looking for. So 3/4 looks like a good possibility, but before I circle it, let's make sure it works here as well. 1.5 plus 3/4. I'm looking for an answer of 2 1/4, but I don't have common denominators, so I'll rewrite it vertically to get my common denominators. And 4 will be my common denominator. Denominator changes, so the numerator changes. 2 times 2 is 4, so 1 times 2 gives me 2. Take over the whole number. Denominator stays the same, so the numerator stays the same. I'm going to box up my new work. And 2 plus 3 is 5 over 4. Bring down that whole number because I'm saying basically 1 plus 0. Holy moly, I have an improper fraction in the middle of my mixed number. So park that whole number right here. X him out and in and out the improper fraction. 4 goes into 5 one time. Subtract, get 1, whole number, numerator, denominator. And for those of you that caught on, look at there, I'd already solved this very thing right there. So I'm going to replace 5 over 4 with whole number, numerator, denominator, 1 and 1 over 4. I cannot forget that the whole number 1 goes with this, so I'll put them back together with some addition. Whole number 1 plus whole number 1 gives me whole number 2, and bring over my fraction, 2 and 1/4. That matches, so ding, 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 C is the correct answer. Well done, folks.